know I'll die, but I know I'm going to live forever until then, and then live beyond that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that certainly is a better approach to life in that it gives you comfort. And that's what,
No, that's what history shows us. History has shown us
in what way?
that human beings are still here, not because of our wise decision making. Like nobody's story says that. We've gotten assistance along the way that we needed it, and we have implemented it globally. This is why those one world people exist, because it's a very powerful concept to have and far too lucrative and beneficial to not be attempted.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to run some global power organization, I would try to co opt every single leader, try to suck them in, offer support, bring them out to wherever the fuck I have my big ass meetings, fly everybody in private jets, talk about the climate crisis.
All organizations have to follow the same rules.
Yeah. That's wild.
Recruitment is an important facet of all. Like,
We have to get some young global leaders.
well, understand this is the only reason that we can talk about these big Illuminati-like entities at this period of time. It's just because of time. Like, they aged out. Like, you can't
Right.
get in new, so everybody got decrepit over there, and they can't exchange really through this period of history. And so that's how we ended up with the Bob Lazars and everything. Throughout history, you could really, it was much easier to get people to not tell nobody
Right.
as part of your job. You know what I mean?
Imagine going to a World Economic Forum party. What did those freaks do when all the listening devices have been scanned out of the room? All their phones been put into bags and locked away in a lead vault. What do those freaks do? Because you know it's not normal shit. You know everybody's buttoned down like that and wants to control the world. There's something involved that's outlandish that they keep a secret. That's always been the case with secret societies. I mean, that's the whole eyes wide shut thing. That there's some freak shit going on behind the scenes to anybody that really wants to control everything. You don't just want to control everything. You want to
What-
control everything so you can get away with some freak shit too.
Right, I'm saying, but these Epstein like characters have existed throughout history,
Throughout
whether
history.
they were kings or what. Human beings are human beings universally. So everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Right. Right.
Right.
And there's always been those people can only kind of interact with those kind of people. When you reach that certain level of wealth and global success, like you're a Bill Gates type guy, how many guys can Bill Gates hang out with? Bill Gates can't just go bowl and join the bowling team and make friends with the other bowlers. It's too weird. He's got to hang out with his kind. And the more you do that, the less you are in touch with what makes sense to say. And that's when you see them saying the most outlandish shit, because they don't recognize how regular people are going to react to what the fuck you're saying. You know what? We're going to own nothing and be happy? What the fuck did you just say? Did you just say I'm going to own nothing and be happy? So, but there's things. So who owns the things? And who enforces who owns the things? And how do you do that? When you take away everybody's weapons, you're the only one that has weapons? and you get to decide who owns the things. And no one owns the things, and everyone's happy. Okay.
Right, but part of what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with something that allows you to have the power while also profiting simultaneously.
Right.
Right. So if it's modern religion, let's say, so in the teaching of Jesus' time, right, when they said pay the tithes, right, it was you had your whole farming plot, let's say it was 40 acres and you had corn planted there, right? You would when it came time to harvest, you would harvest everything except the rows that were on the fence, right? And the rows that were on the fence, that was the 10% of your field that would go to people that didn't have it. So it wasn't just you giving the 10%. It was also the fact that human nature is if you were going to give people some of your crops, you gonna pick out the best crops for you and your family, and then you'll put another pile for the giveaway. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this took care of that, where it was all equal, and the person that didn't have to feel like they was a beggar. They could come and pick and see which corn they liked and get. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
And
that's a smart move just for harmony in the community, too. Then people have a vested interest in this farmer being successful with his crop.
right.
Some of that crop is yours.
But the decision to take it from that to God said, give me 10% in this plate is going to make $1 billion a day for 1 billion people.
yeah.
This is why Tesla has to go. Why? Because not what Tesla is saying about electricity. It's the fact that he's saying this should be free for everybody,
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah, he wanted to have aerial electricity free for everybody like radio waves.
And the day that you say that,
that's a wrap.
it's cheaper to keep her because we make 200 billion a day.
Yeah.
And we all agree universally you should pay for this, and we'll be in charge of selling it to you.
And we'll shut it off if you fuck around.
So
Clunk.
for us to say, I think they're going to do that with cars.
Duh.
This is how this goes in these
100%.
processes.
Yeah, that's the conspiracy theorist's biggest fear about electric cars. But it's not just electric cars. We found out it's an OnStar. It's on, I have a Cadillac Escalade. That has an OnStar. If I'm driving, the government wants to stop me, they could just shut my car off. It's crazy.
And if you were in that business, what would you tell them they need to do in the next 5 years?
Yeah, make them all like
get
that.
better at it?
Yeah, get better at that.
Yeah.
Control where they go, control the steering wheel, control everything. I want you to auto driving on all cars. Auto driving on all cars with third-party input.
Is this not what we would say to Tesla?
Yeah.
I mean, to Elon, if he said, I want to make cars.
Right.
When we say, okay, well, these are the regulations, and you
Yeah.
have to make them like this, and you...
It'd be nice if you could just control that car. Here, this is how you sell it to people. If someone steals your car, we can get it back. And you go, oh, that's great. Someone steals my car, they can get it back. How are they going to get it back? Well, they control your car.
You can make it cheap enough to not be a difficult sale, though, Joe.
Yeah, make it cheap.
That's what capitalism is about.
Yeah. Well, that's also like when you get free internet or free services through Google, right? Mm-hmm. It's free. But what you're giving up is your data, which is extremely valuable. So they're giving you something. You can now use Google, but now they have all your data, and they're just a big net that mines data. And because of that, they become one of the most powerful entities that's ever existed on Earth. There was a story that
we
I was trying
learned
to
this from
find.
fishermen,
Yeah.
how a net works and how much it's important to get as much in as you possibly can, and that's where analytics live, and
Yes.
that's where I'm saying this is where the DNA industry is built off of is the fact of the future. Like at that same point that you're saying that we'll have those cars that do that, they'll be able to predict crime.
Oh, yeah.
And step in before certain things even need to happen.
Or they'll probably instigate you to a certain level of stress that they could indicate that you're about to commit crime. and then they come in and get you.
They won't need to be that nefarious, only because some of this stuff we know already. It just requires profiling that we're not comfortable with. Like worldwide, most terrible crimes are committed by this is 73rd time I'm gonna get canceled. Most crime worldwide is done by men with a micro penis, and